So welcome to Lesson 7 in our video lessons on using Unity 6.0. In this lesson we're going to go through the new Unity input system. So when I started using Unity a long time ago, we had a script to make things move. But they came out with their new input system 2 or 3 years ago, maybe before then. And so now you have the option of using that input system to make objects move versus just using your scripts to make them move. So in this lesson, we're just going to make sure you get that set up right and then have it loaded. And then in the next lesson, we'll start writing some scripts for it. So first of all, let's go to our package manager. And let's go into our registry. And let's type it in just so we can sort of see. There it is. So you can see I already have it installed. So if you go to your package manager, the registry where all of our commands and stuff are going to be located. If you don't have it, make sure you do install it. Okay, so I want to make sure it's in there. Then once you do, if you go to your assets folder down here at the console inside, and we're going to click on the input system. So again, we're going to our assets folder, the main one, and we're going to click on the input system here. Okay, so let's take a look at what we have. Now, you could delete all these and redo them if you wanted to. For my purposes, and for probably 99% of you, it would be the same thing if we redid it. So I'm not going to, but you could delete them and then start again. Here you see we have the gamepad, or if you were going to use a joystick to maneuver your player. So first of all, we're in the player and we're looking at the action maps. So for me, I'm going to be using WASD, right? I'm going to be using the keyboard and my arrow keys. So you can see I have my up, my W is my up, and WASD, we can see as we go down here. Now, if you wanted to change this, you actually have a pretty cool thing. You could go in here and click listen and type W. For the keyboard, make sure you click keyboard. You could just type W and it'll put it in. So it'll fill that in if you want to redo all of them. But you can see my W keyboard is up, my up arrow, my down S keyboard, my down arrow left and right. So WASD, and it's all set up, so I don't need to do it. But again, if you wanted to do it, you could come down here and click this and then click listen and hit the arrow key, left arrow key, and it'll put it in there for you. Pretty cool. So it gives us all these commands. We can go ahead and use this in our script by just referencing the input system. Now let's take a look at what we have here. So let's go to WASD. Now, they have 2D vector. And you're thinking probably like I was, and still occasionally do, well, we're in a 3D game. So what are we using a 2D vector? And you'll see when we start writing our script, we're in a 3D game, but almost every game, when you're moving your player, we're going left, right, and forwards and backwards. If we're going to go up in the air, 99% of the time, we're going to be jumping. So that's a different command and a different action. Actually, we have it here. If we look down here, we can see we have jump right there. So that is a different command. So when we start talking about moving in a 3D game, we're going to be going left, right, forwards, and backwards. And then when we want to move up, we're going to jump. Now in a 2D game, that can be completely different. You are going to be moving left to right, and you're going to be going up. So that's a vector 2. So that definitely is a vector 2 for those values. And it's a different vector 2 because in a 2D game, of course, there is no depth. So in that case, you'd be going left and right and up. But in a 3D game, when we're just talking about movement, we're still using a vector 2, but it's just the x-axis and the z-axis. The y-axis, we will be coming down here and we will be jumping. Just so I want to make sure I explain that. I think it thought I made a change to it. So I did not change mine. If you want to change it, go ahead and you could change these keys if you wanted to, or the up and down arrow if you want. It's up to you. Make sure you save it if you do make any changes. Now I'm going to go to my player, and I'm going to put the player input in. So you can see it's right there. You could go down here and type in player. Just start typing player, and there's player input. So it's on my player. Okay. So I have my player input on my player, and you can see I have 2 scripts I'm going to be writing on my player. Now we're going to go through these scripts in pretty good detail. Some of you, if you've been with me, if you've been in my classes before, my videos, or taken other classes, we're going to probably switch from using a public variable to a serialized private variable, and a couple other changes. And we'll go through what that means as far as having good quality code. So following the rules we should follow, and also making sure our code cannot be inadvertently activated or a variable used in a different class within a game, like speed. We made it public in one script, and someone else wants to use it in a different script. Well, now we're going to have a problem because they can still reference it from the first script. So we're going to go through what those mean and how to write them. The key to this thing is just practicing. So don't be afraid about making mistakes, and I think I told you, and we'll go through it when we do our scripting here. Any errors are going to appear here. So, and they're going to give you the line, and they're going to give you a hint. So that's how you learn, by making those mistakes and then going back and looking at that line and figuring it out. You can post it on the forums or in the Unity community. Make sure you've done all the research yourself. But if you have an issue, you can post it up there, and people will show you how to correct it or what you're doing wrong, or give you some hints on how to correct it. The level of comments can vary. You may have some experts up there that are maybe not quite as friendly as you think they could be, because they've been programming for 15 years and they think you just didn't take your time to write the code right. But make sure when you're writing your code, you take your time and make sure you follow logical order. And whether you're using camel case or whatever format you're using, make sure you stay consistent with that. So we'll go through that in the next lesson, but I don't want to make the lesson too long and have it be confused. So this lesson, I'm just going to have you use the input system. Make sure you have it inside there. Make sure you put it on your player, and then we'll go from there in the next lesson.